In this video, I'm going to show you every step of the process to make this neat little striped cutting board along with the stand for it to sit on. And along the way, you're going to get to see several woodpecker's tools in action. To start this process, we're going to begin by ripping down some maple and walnut into thin strips. And my blade of choice for this is of course our 30-tooth glue line rip blade. To cut these thin strips as safely and consistently as possible, I'm going to be using the thin rip guide. For my first set of strips, I'm ripping these at 1 inch wide. Then I'm just going to adjust the thin rip guide 1/8 of an inch in and just continue ripping the maple and walnut. I'll continue adjusting the thin rip guide in 1/8 inch increments until we get down to our thinnest strip of only 1/8 inch wide. Alright, with everything all ripped down, this is what you should end up with. 8 strips of maple and 8 strips of walnut. Now go ahead and just organize them as you see here. We're going to go from left to right. We go with the thickest walnut down to the thinnest walnut, and then the thinnest maple up to the thickest maple. And just alternate them every other walnut and maple, like you see here. With everything all organized, it's time to glue this thing up. And for this, we're going to be using the expander clamp system. I really love this thing. It makes the setup time quick and easy. With the clamps, they're always together in a complete unit. And it elevates them off the work surface. It equally spaces them in just a few seconds. It's really just a convenient tool to use. And you can see before I started applying the glue that I did go ahead and apply some blue tape to the clamps to help protect them from any squeeze out. But if you do end up getting any glue drips on your expander clamp system, do not worry about it. This thing is powder coated steel and the glue just comes right off super easily. Now before this glue sets up too much, I'm going to grab my favorite glue scraping chisel and scrape away all of that excess glue to clean everything up. Then once the glue is all done drying, I can go ahead and remove the cutting board from the clamp and then peel off that blue tape and scrape off the excess glue that was on the bottom before we take it over and send it through the planer. Now it's time to give this cutting board a unique shape. We're going to use this lime-shaped cutting board template and use some double-sided tape to put it on there. And to help us cut the bulk of the material off, we are going to use one of my personal favorite tools, the Steady Curve Bandsaw Template Guide. I went ahead and set up the Steady Curve so that the template guide is sitting roughly 1/16 of an inch in front of the blade. So now all I have to do is run my template up against the template guide, and then that will make sure to leave about 1/16 of an inch material proud of the template, which is just enough material to clean up over at the router table with a flush trim bit in the next step. To flush everything up, we're going to be using one of our spiral 2-flute compression flush trim bits. Now this bit is wicked sharp and going to leave us with a flawless finish. But to help out with dust collection along the way, I really like to use this free hand guard. It provides us with a solid pivot point as well as an acrylic shield to protect us from any flying chips. And also, the best feature of all about the freehand guard is the dust collection that it provides. It practically sucks up all the chips, leaving you with a dust-free experience. Lastly, to finish up this cutting board, I just had to do a couple more things. I took it over to the drill press and drilled a little finger hole. And then to finish it up, I just went right back over to the router table and broke all of those sharp edges with a nice little round over bit. And with that, the cutting board is basically all wrapped up. So we can move on to making the stand for the cutting board to sit on. And the stand honestly could not have been more simple to make. All I did was use one of our spiral router bits to make a groove in the white oak, and I just made it wide enough until my cutting board fit in it nicely. And the last bit of work at the router table was to just add a slight chamfer to the stand. To take care of the end grain, I just used a scrap piece of plywood to give me extra support while I'm pushing through the cut. And here's the finished product. We got a walnut, maple, lime-shaped striped cutting board with a stand. I mean, that sounds like a mouthful, but the project turned out great. I had a lot of fun on this project, getting to show you guys all of these different woodpeckers tools in action. If you guys want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe and comment below and let me know what you think. And if you're interested in any of the products you saw me use in today's video, everything is linked directly below. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.